He is the man who quite simply defies logic, isn't he? Over 40, not a problem. Walked away from the game completely, comes back, not a problem. A rewriter, not just of the record book, but Neil, also of the rule book.
Well, yes, he's just the most gifted player I think there's ever been. And he still has the gift that he had when he won this title at 17, when he beat Hendry, who was in his pomp then. You know, and in those days he was just a potting machine, but there's so much more to him now. As a player, he's got everything, and he's just truly the best player to pick up a cue, I think.
He's also not simply a record breaker, but more of a one-man record demolition machine when it comes to all-time snooker records. He's equalled a couple of absolute pearlers tonight. Yeah, you'd be a lunatic, as you say, Jimmy. You'd be an absolute roaster, a steamer to bet against him breaking those two records.
Make no mistake, you know, and he has got his eye on it. He's had his eye on it probably all the time, but didn't want to do the work. He has to put the work in. Not only is O'Sullivan like a winning machine, and he says he attacks the game, he creates chances from nowhere. Most players, you look there and you see maybe they're 30 or 40 there. He opens the balls up straight away. If they go nice, game over 9 times out of 10. Phenomenal victory for him, and yeah. I'm delighted. And he's got 18 now. He's equal to Stephen Hendry's.
You know that, I always think of that story of George Best, the famous story when he's in the hotel room on the bed with the piles of money, and it's a family show, but everything else, and the room service person turns around and says, "George, where did it all go wrong?" That always pops into my head when it comes to Ronnie.
George said more champagne, didn't he?
Exactly. You know, he has his knockers, he's went about it his way. It's been a love-hate relationship at times with the game, but here we sit, and he's still absolutely, no other word for it, but mercurial tonight.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about Ronnie, believe it or not, there was a time, dare I say it, when people thought he was an underachiever, because he had all the talent when he won the UK in '93. It took a long time to win the first world title. After that, people thought, is he ever going to win it? And now, there's no way you can say that, because all he's done is win for the last 5 years.
Do you know the scary thing? I think you could probably, if we did a This House Believes 2-hour debate, still make a good case for that. That's the scariest thing.
Well,
there'll always be missing titles with flawed geniuses. And the scary thing is, if he's missing a few, he's right up there at the top of the list.
But I don't know if he's an improved player, Jimmy. I don't know what he is now that he wasn't. But
well, just maybe the shot selection. But as he said there now, you know, he is enjoying it. You know, he is actually enjoying competing, and when you're winning like that, you know, it's great. But you know, all them top players at the moment, they are exhausted, and he just seems to keep finding it week in and week out.
One of the things, if we look at this list for a second, because Stephen Hendry has more world titles at the moment, Ronnie has more UKs and more Masters out of he's now equal to Steve Davis. When you judge greatness in sport in terms of all-time greatness, I think the one thing that isn't on that caption you have to think about, Neil, and I know you agree with me because we've talked about this, is longevity.
Yeah.
And that's where Ronnie, I think, ticks more boxes for me than any other snooker player.
Well, Stephen Hendry, by the time he got to 30, he'd won all his world titles. He never won any after that. Barely won anything after that, actually. And Ronnie has just continued into his 40s at a point where Stephen had already retired. And Stephen didn't retire because he was fed up with winning. Stephen retired, actually, because he's fed up with losing, because he started losing matches. He's still a great, great player. You know, the second best by some margin, you know, but in my opinion, Ronnie's better. He's lasted longer. He's done it all. Also,
Ronnie O'Sullivan, he's super fit. You know, he trains every day, you know, and he runs, you know, long distances all the time. So, you know, this is showing now in the modern-day game. Yeah. You can, plus his talent and his will to win, he's also super fit.
He's got it all. Now, what does a UK champion do as soon as he leaves the arena? He comes out of the place where he's just won a 6th UK title. Does he phone family? Does he hug friends? Not the rocket. He does an interview with his boys. Here he is.
Ronnie, congratulations, 2017 UK Championship winner. Just how are you feeling?
Yeah, I mean, obviously over the moon, you know, to win the UK Championships once, let alone 6 times, is unbelievable, you know. And I just think, you know, the form that I was showing all week, I didn't expect to make the quarters of the semis. So to be here in the final, and you know, I just had to, you know, ignore everything I was feeling, just play one frame, one ball at a time, and just play like try and play like a robot in many respects, you know, and just see what happens at the end of it. And you know, I feel fresh as a daisy, considering, and yeah, I'm totally delighted to have won this tournament.
6 titles now, equaling your childhood hero's record of Steve Davis. You know, does that make things even sweeter?
It's great to equal it. I think I'm really pleased that I've equalled Stephen Hendry 18 majors. You know, that was a goal for me to get to overtake him. So, you know, that's something that is a record that I'd be really proud of, because that's more like longevity in a way. You know, it's winning 6 UKs is still longevity, but to do, you know, 18 majors in I feel fantastic about that, you know, and you know, it's all the hard work, all the dedication, all the love for the sport, and all the enthusiasm, and all that sort of stuff. It all kind of like pays off in the end, doesn't it?
Well, equaling 2 records in one evening. If you weren't a legend already, you are firmly a legend now.
Well, I mean, that's not for me to use that word, you know. I just try and chip up and play, enjoy competing, enjoy the getting in the mustard, if you like, you know, and that's what it feels like sometimes out there, you know. It's hot stuff. But, you know, I just enjoy it, you know, and while I can keep competing and playing, you know, I'll keep trying my hardest to win titles.
You've been saying to Eurosport all week that you don't think you've been playing your best, but you must be doing something right.
Yeah, well, I mean that's quite evident. I think anyone that watches the game, watches me play, knows that I wasn't at my best. But you know, I had to ignore that I wasn't at my best. I had to ignore what my mind was telling me. I had to just kind of go into sort of my own little world and just say, well, you know, let's just make someone beat me, you know, and don't beat yourself. And I think I kind of managed to do that this tournament. So very pleasing and very different to last year. Last year we were like going toe to toe, but this year, you know, the final, you know, I don't think we both played as well as we could, but we still, you know, put in a solid professional performance.
And just give us a few words on Shaun as well, please.
Yeah, no, listen, Shaun's a fantastic player, you know, and you know, he'll frighten the life out of anybody. You know, he's so attacking, so aggressive, so confident, and you know, sometimes it's very hard to tame that. You know you have to play to a certain level to be able to beat him, and thankfully today I was able to do that. But no, he's a great champion, he's a great ambassador for the game, and you know, he's great for snooker.
And just a quick word, Eurosport have given you maybe a more unconventional week. You've done a bit of cooking, a bit of pottery. What have those things done to take your mind off the game itself?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, playing snooker's the easy part, you know, so sometimes it's just kind of like the in-between bits, and I think, you know, I've learned, you know, if I want longevity, I think, you know, you've got to try and enjoy your life and, you know, away from snooker, because snooker's just a game at the end of the day, and I love to compete, but, you know, there's other things that I enjoy a lot more in my life, you know, so it's, you know, it's just sort of embracing that stuff, doing it, enjoying it, and then, you know, maybe about half an hour before a game of snooker, go, right, I've got to get serious now, you know, got a job to do.
Well, you're still going to be serious because you're off up to Scotland tomorrow morning. It's just so much snooker. Just tell us about that quickly as well.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I've got to be honest with you, you know, if I lost first, second round, third, you know, early doors, I probably wouldn't be too disappointed, because obviously I've done really well here this week, and, you know, I'm looking forward to doing some punditry with the lads up there, and, you know, it'd be a bit more laid back than it has been this week. And just have some fun, you know. It's been 12 days of intenseness, you know. I think I need to lighten up a little bit.
We've loved watching you. Congratulations. Very worthy winner.
Thank you. Cheers, Rachel. Thank you.
Thank
Well,
you.
he said he hasn't played at his best this week. Well, certainly in patches he has. What he has done, you know, he has gotten ahead in his games. 4-0, 5-0, going in at the first mid-session almost out of sight.
It's just been too good for most people he's played. I mean, he hasn't played at his very best, because I think we saw against Curran Wilson in the English. Oh, I mean, that evening session where he had the match won, he was just, well, irresistible. But the fact is, you know, he is a great player. Now, I think the next step for him, OK, you'd like to win next week, you know, in Glasgow, but now he's got a chance. Mark Selby probably watches this now, and he's the man who's dominated the game in the rankings. If Ronnie can go win the Masters, then he's on the brink of doing the Triple Crown in the same season. Then who's the daddy then?
Yeah, absolutely. And in terms of his performance this evening, you said it, look, it's allowed to go all the way, or Ronnie's going to go out and to some extent blow Shaun away, and he did that tonight, you know. So what standard do we judge him by? Because we judge him by almost every other player. We say that was amazing.
Well, listen, when he asked for it, it appeared. You know, when he went through the gears, he got stronger, and he got, you know, and he was getting stronger all the time as the match was going on. He's got so much in hand.
Yeah.
Obviously, he likes to bring his A game all the time, but you can't do that. But his B game now, he's learnt to sort of, you know, scrap it out with the scrappy matches. And as he said, he was below par. But today and tonight, he was top draw.
And Shaun, a word in Shaun, because the finals he's made this season, he's beaten Ronnie in one of them, the champions, and his season is shaping up lovely.
He's been beaten in the final of 3 ranking events this season, the Paul Hunter, the China Championship, and now this. So, you know, his ranking is in good shape. He's the champion of champions, but he'd like to pick up something big as well. He's earning a few bob, but ultimately, it's like anything else. At the level there these guys are at, it's lifting that trophy and everything that goes with it they want.
Yeah. Ronnie, by the way, Christmas is sorted. Over 500,000 solves this season in the back pocket, which is all right. Jimmy, what's been your highlight of the 2017 UK Championship, apart from just winning it in Rummy tonight?
Obviously Ronnie winning it, but seeing Akani come through from Thailand, you know, like a breath of fresh air, you know, such a sort of a genuine lover of the game, you know, just loves to play, and obviously a great player. That was my highlight, I think.
Neil?
Well, I have to say, it's probably the same thing. The match with Akani was just stunning, and watching him pop balls and Ronnie smiling in admiration at what he was doing, I think probably genuinely also. Akani's unlucky he's running into the whirlwind on Tuesday in Glasgow. That's his only snag.
If we can ever get there.
If we can get there, because all our flights have been delayed, cancelled.
Absolutely. Well, listen, dull, I've got to go for the same. That night, sitting on the sofa, just laughing and cheering and clapping as the kid, when he this is going to be very specific for those who haven't seen it, but when he instead didn't play the conventional yellow and instead potted it the whole way back down the table, that was just... And he was like Inspector Gadget, wasn't he? He was pulling out this, that and the other.
The way he holds the rest and his whole demeanour around the game, and when he potted the green and he knocked the blue, and he sort of started laughing because he thought, oh, you know, this is what must happen, you know, and he was so unlucky.
Well, listen, there's only one thing to take care of, because if we were just sitting here talking to ourselves, it'd be no fun at all. And the Eurosport audience always get in touch. You're always tweeting in and stuff. And we've been doing this competition all week, which is send in a picture of yourself just watching the snooker. I think we've probably shown like 60 of them on air, and we've had hundreds. And it's just really fun just to see what you're up to. We've had them from all over the world as well, which really surprises. I certainly didn't know we were getting watched in America and you know, in Pakistan and Australia and all sorts. So it's been an absolute buzz. It's been a bit like a radio show, more that way. But we got to pick one to win 2 tickets to the Dafa Bet Masters and have lunch with the boys. I'll give you a guided tour of behind the scenes at Eurosport. Then we're going to give 2 cues out as well. So are they signed? They got to be signed. We'll get them signed.
What we will do, we will get them signed by all the lads.
Wow.
And Eurosport will send them to them.
Absolutely, brilliant. OK, so there's one we're going to show before we show the 3 winners, if you like, just for an honourable mention. We just wanted to show this, and it was the seminar about German idealism, and this was during Ronnie's match against Martin Gold. So thank you very much, Asan, for sending that in. No prize for you, but just what I like about it is just to me it looks like everyone else in the room is a criminal, and we've had to cover up their faces.
It's a bit sort of Wernham Hoggish, isn't it, really?
Yes.
The Office, you know what I mean?
Beautiful.
In Slough there.
Beautiful. Right, so the Q winners. The Q winners, don't get overexcited, but still a brilliant prize. The Rocket will sign it, the Jester will sign it, the Magician will sign it. You, sir, are getting a bigger Q. But I'm thinking your dad might take it. That's Jake. That's Stuart. Stuart, listen, Jake won't be up. He'll wake up in the morning and say, Daddy, Daddy, did we win? Stuart will be like, no, son, we didn't even get a mention.
I've just got a new Q.
Thanks for sending that in, Stuart. It's much appreciated. So this is the other runner-up that's getting a Q. Brilliant. Now, the boys picked these, so I don't know which one or whatever. So this is Assad, who said he can't afford to come over and watch snooker. Well, we're going to be posting out to him that Q signed by his hero. So we'll make sure Ronnie and Jimmy, Assad, are the biggest signatures on that for you. Who's won the trip to the Dafa Bet Masters along with a mate? Make sure your mate's not a steamer. Ethan Bowman, well done to you. Oh, what one to pick. Well, this was I'm absolutely floored. What a choice. This was the very first picture we showed.
But we both come up with it. Independently, there's something warm about that, wonderfully warm about that little girl with members of her family there. What's not to like? I mean, I think we liked all the other people that have made a huge effort on roofs and, you know, and but that's just, isn't that a wonderful picture?
I went up and we went through it, and I said, I fancied this one, and then Neil come in and he said, that's the one I like as well, without knowing which one. So it worked out brilliant.
I like you picked that, and if that young girl is watching right now, I want you to know this. You're not going. It's only 2 tickets. They're going to take them. They're going to take them. It's going to be a hard life lesson for you. It's going to be a hard life lesson. It's a bar. They can say that. Oh, there's a bar there. We we can't take you. We'll see what we can do. It's 2 now, that's all we're promising, but let's see what we can do, especially if it's during the day. It would be nice if everybody in the picture could come. That's
nice picture.
All I'm saying.
Nice picture. That's not. You agree with that one, right?
Yeah, you've shown me a soft side to both of you. A soft side
We're not
I
bad lads,
didn't
really, you
know was there. Absolutely wonderful. Right, you had a good time?
Brilliant.
You loved it? Should we move
Brilliant.
on?
Always a pleasure.
I have to say this, is probably how I turned the set on TV. When you spend, all of us, the whole crew here, when you spend all your time every day from morning, noon and night, you get little fights. You always do. It's like Big Brother almost.
Well, you start moaning.
No, just don't you start me now. We'll have a fight right at the end. But we don't really get them here much. And the crew's been brilliant. So thank you very much to everyone. We've worked in so many tournaments together. So thank you from director, producer, everybody for doing the job. These two, never worked with two people as much fun in my life. But most importantly, thank you so much for watching, and you do not have to stop because the Scottish Open is just around the corner. The Home Nation Series begins tomorrow at 12:45. The Scottish Open, and I can bring you really good news in terms of the presenting team and that. It looks like Jimmy and Neil are not going to make it in time for that first programme, so it'll definitely be worth watching. Right, here we go. It's a Sunday evening. We're presenting a snooker show and we're saying, hey, it's all done. And Ronnie O'Sullivan has won a Triple Crown title. Think about it, we said 17 times before we've just said it. It will be said again, no doubt. It seems that he is timeless. It seems that he is ageless, and many would say as well, he is peerless. Good night.